Hi, good day, and welcome to Reading and Writing Skills. We have another video presentation and lesson today. Right, let's begin. Again, I welcome you to Reading and Writing Skills. And once again, I want to introduce myself to everyone. This is Miss Pauline Jen El Belamite. Right, so I'll be showing you some pictures here, and these pictures are representation, okay, of societal issues. Okay, we have this. Okay, I know you know what it means, and that is abortion. Next, we have the same-sex marriage here, and then we have the very relevant these days, okay, at the time of pandemic, and that is the face-to-face classes, right? And next is divorce. I know just by seeing these pictures, you are thinking already if you agree or disagree with these societal issues, right? And with that, your thinking requires critical reading, right? So that will be our lesson for today. Okay? Critical reading as looking for ways of thinking. When we think about something that we have read, okay, our brain works already. Okay? And that's why we have the process. Okay? The term itself, which is thinking. Okay? Critical reading is one of our ways, okay, for us to think, for us, okay, to say our opinion, our perspective, point of views toward certain issues, toward certain topics. Okay, not just societal issues, but a lot more variables, okay, and things that surrounds us. Okay? Before we proceed, of course, let me present to you the objectives of the lesson. First is for us to explain what critical reading as looking for ways of thinking. How does critical reading becomes a way for us to think? Right? Next is for you to identify claims explicitly or implicitly made in a written text. And not just that, we're going to talk more on what claim is and what are the types of claims. Okay? And lastly is for us to identify the context, okay, in which a text was developed. Right? So again, welcome to critical reading as looking for ways of thinking as our lesson for today. We'll begin first on explicit and implicit claims in a text. We're going to talk about the types of claims, okay, and their examples. And of course, lastly, the context of text development. Okay, without further ado, let's begin on implicit. Okay, when we say that it is implicit, meaning it is implied or understood, though not plainly or directly expressed. Meaning, something is therefore implicit when it is not directly stated, but it's either suggested in the wording or necessary, okay, to effectuate the purpose, okay, of your claim. Right? So here we have an example, of course. Here, she implicitly said she likes white shoes by saying she likes all colors but tan. Okay? Here, the explanation, the woman states, okay, that she likes all shoe colors but tan. Meaning, okay, while she doesn't directly say she likes white shoes, okay, meaning it's implicit, okay, because white is not tan. You can say that she likes red, she likes blue. Anything but tan. Right? You can say that. Right? And we have a note here. In implicit, it is not expressed clearly and only suggested and indirectly stated. Okay, for example, okay, in a setting or in a field wherein you're professional, you're already working, you'll say to the human resource, okay, that if you won't give me the appreciation that I deserve, I'll be thinking twice. What do you mean by that? What if the next day the human resource give you certificate of appreciation? But that's not what you actually mean. What you actually mean is you want a raise on your salary. Okay? So you build, a misunderstanding, okay, towards, other people. So it affects, okay, your communication and your purpose of saying it. Okay? And we use implicit. No, we cannot say that it's bad or it's negative. That's why we have implicit and explicit. They work. Okay? The same way possible, but in different fields. Okay? Implicit is commonly used, okay, in literary pieces when we want or we are trying to hide, okay, certain things that we cannot, okay, always say directly. Right? Of course, there's an opposite of an implicit, okay, kind of text, and of course, that is explicit. Okay, on this one, you fully and clearly express something, leaving nothing implied. There's no confusion, there will be no misunderstanding because it is direct. Okay, again, something is explicit when it is clearly stated and spelled out everything. There's no room for confusion, as in the writing of, for example, a contract or a statute. Okay, and even the constitution, the laws that we have here, okay, in and outside the country, everything is explicit. Everything should be understood clearly by the readers. Okay, they don't have to read it twice or thrice for them to understand it. Okay, so we have here an example. Just as mentioned to you, the law was explicit in whose tax rates were to be raised. Okay, he said explicitly, you will not attend that concert. Okay, again, in explicit, it is obvious and apparent, directly stated. So here on these two examples, both of this, okay, the word explicit is used and present. For what? Okay, to demonstrate something that has been clearly and unambiguously expressed or stated. Okay, there is no room for doubt because everything is clearly and directly communicated. Okay, now we will be talking about claims. Okay, we can identify claims either implicit or explicit. But we'll be talking claims now, okay, as it is. Okay, but first things first, the word claims comes from the Latin word clamare, which means to cry out or to shout. Okay, when we give our claim from before, no, the Latin word as it's says here, not from the etymology, it means to cry out or to shout. Okay, our claims. Claims are the things that we believe to. Claims are the things that we said out of our values and our beliefs. Okay, so that's why it has this direct translation of to cry out or to shout. Okay, because we experience this every time. Now, when we're excited about something, when we truly know about something, we can give clear claims. Okay, but let's define. Okay, claims. Here, first is a claim can either be factual or a judgment. You can base your claim from facts that you have read. Okay, again, we're dealing here with critical reading as looking for ways of your thinking. Okay, when you read something, okay, you have direct communication with, okay, the text that you are reading, meaning it will make you think. Okay, so claim can either be factual or based on your judgment. Judgment is how you perceive things, right? Using all five of your senses. Right? Next, claims can work on their own or in conjunction with other claims. Okay? How why do we do that? Okay? Why do we have to? Okay? Work claims no on their own or connect it with others. Okay? Here it's because, okay, we want to make a larger, okay, argument. Okay? That's why we connect one claim to another to create a larger argument. Also, I would like to add up in literature, a claim is a statement, okay, that asserts something to be true. Okay? And for us to identify claims on the text that we are reading, okay, you just have to focus on the first and last sentences of each paragraph. Okay, why? The details in each paragraph will also guide you as to whether a text supports or opposes a certain claim or argument. Right? And here, until proven, all claims will remain as opinion. Okay? Until everything is proven, approved by everyone, no argument at all. Okay, then that could be a statement already, but not a claim. Okay, again, all claims will remain opinion as before, or until it is proven. Right? So we have here an example of a claim. Okay, because again, claim are considered opinion, until it's proven. Okay, so we have here one example of claim. The governor is a bad man. The governor has continually done the community a disservice by mishandling money, focusing on frivolous causes, and failing to listen to his constituents. Okay, you can drop down on how you see these claims on the comment section. Okay, let me see, how do you see this claim? Okay, what are your opinion? Right? Okay, now let's proceed. Uh-huh. Okay, let me give you the guide questions for each claim. The very first one is, are the claims presented in the text supported by evidences? Again, a claim is either factual or judgment. Okay, but both ways, even though it's based on facts and your judgment, you have to provide evidences, and you have to see if you're reading claims, if they are supported by evidences as well. Right? For it to be, how do you call this? For it to be something trustworthy to read, okay? It's credible, okay? For you and your future readers, to believe in your claims. You have to provide, evidences. Next, are these pieces of evidences valid and sufficient enough, for the readers to believe and for you to believe also? Because again, the process is, you will be reading. After you read, you will write on your own, and you will have your readers. Okay? So you have to take note of that. Next, does the text have references? Where did they get this? Are they reliable? Are they recent? Okay? Because we have the statute of limitation. Wherein it's best if it's just 10 years ago or just 5 years ago, or in the limit of 10 years or 5 years. The more recent it is, the better. Okay? And next, how does the writer present facts and opinions? Okay, you have to see if the writer writes with so much organization, with so much unity in thoughts. Okay, really focusing on the main idea. When we are speaking, we don't believe in people who stutters, right? Same when we are reading. If it's circular, okay, the things that the writer is writing about is the same thing every time, okay, then we have to think twice, if we have to believe on that. Okay, again, the author and the writer should be credible, should be good enough, for us to believe on their writings. Because again, as a writer, you share your opinion also while you are writing. Right? Next, we have the three types of claim here. What are this? We have the claim of fact, we have the claim of value, we have the claim of policy. Now, we'll be talking about it one by one, right? The very first one is the claim of fact. It says here that it asserts that a condition has existed, exists in the present, and will exist, of course, in the future, and are all based on facts or data. Okay, that's why it is called as claim of fact, okay? Because it's based from facts or data, okay? Where do we get these facts or data? By researches, okay? Next, what are the questions of fact that we can include, okay? For you to say, is it really a claim of fact? You can ask, what is true and what is false about that claim? What happened and what didn't happen, okay? How do we know these claims? How do we get these ideas from this claim? And lastly, what exists and does not exist in claim? Right? We have here an example. Here, obesity causes health problems. Okay, and next, there is one God. Okay, this is, or these are, claim of facts, because although, okay, it is fact already, oh, proven by researchers, okay, but not everyone agrees to it. Okay? So this will remain as claim of fact. Right? Note, when it's no longer debatable, again until it is debatable or no longer debatable, it's not a claim anymore. Facts that are universally accepted are not considered claim of fact, but instead a statement of fact. But until now, obesity causes health problems are still debatable in the field of medicine and science. There is one God. Okay, is still debatable up until now because we have different religious, okay, beliefs. Right? So it will remain as claim of fact. Right? Next, we have here the claim of a value. Right? Here, it attempts to prove that some things are more or less desirable than others. Yes, we are comparing here in the claim of value. Okay? And this is entirely based on your judgment and evaluation on philosophical, aesthetic, or moral standpoint. Again, philosophical is how do you perceive things? How do you believe on something? That's philosophy. Next, aesthetic. Okay, the beauty standards, how we see things. Okay, based on our bare eyes. Okay, or our naked eyes. And next is our moral standpoint. Meaning, in moral standpoint, we are talking about how things work. Okay, morally, immorally. Okay, the morality. Okay? Based on what we believe is right or wrong. Okay? That's why the questions of value here include, is it good? Is it bad? Is it right? Is it wrong? How moral or immoral a thing is. Right? Of course, we have here an example. Opera is not as entertaining as musical comedy. Meaning, what do we have here? Okay, we compare opera to musical comedy, and we share that, okay, opera is not as entertaining as musical comedy. We are comparing the two based on how entertaining they are. Okay, so again, it's based on your choice. Another example, this is just an example. Okay, for the claims of other people, gay marriage or same sex marriage is immoral. That's how they perceive it, okay, in the society. Same on how we say that someone is beautiful, okay, when they are having good skin complexion, when they are sexy, okay, when they have beautiful face features. That's how we define beauty. That's for aesthetic, okay? So that is for claim of value. Again, there's a comparison. Okay, and that is, of course, always based on the standard. And where do we get this standard? Of course, from the society that we are living in. Okay, it affects, okay, how we see things, how we give facts, and how we give judgment. Right. Next, lastly, is we have the claim of policy. It suggests a solution to a problem that has been defined or described by an argument. Okay? It is something that should or should not be done. That's why it's called policy. Okay? So the question here, we only have two. Okay? What should be done? How can we solve this problem? We create policy because we want to give solution to a problem or to avoid a problem. Okay? Next, we have here an example. First, we should respect everyone in school. Okay, so that's one of the fallacies always imposed to us, okay, where we are in school. Okay, and that is to respect everyone. That's a policy that you need to follow. Okay, next, you should support restrictions on abortion. If, let's say, abortion is legalized here locally in our country, then you need to support all the restrictions. That's a policy. That's an order. Okay? And lastly, okay, what are the important aspects generally, okay, regarding claims? First, a claim is a statement and is not a question. It will never be interrogative. Okay? It's always declarative. Next, a claim is against the status quo. When we say status quo, it only means political affairs and political issues, okay, that we have here. Next, lastly, the claim is the focus of the argument. Okay, there's an argument, there's a debate, okay, between sides because they have, okay, different claims. Right? So try this on the comment section. Can you identify the types of claims? Okay, the first one is to complete globally, the Department of Education adapted the K to 12 curriculum. What type of claim is this? What about honesty is the best policy? Third is smoking can lead to respiratory infection. Four, euthanasia is immoral. And lastly, extrajudicial killings lessen the crimes in our country. I kindly try to answer this on comment section. I Next, how do you see these pictures? Mr. Bean and the buddy, okay, of Mona Lisa, Squidward, okay, and the body of Mona Lisa also. And of course, Batman and Starry Night. Okay, what can you say about the photo? I know all of you might be thinking that this is kind of funny. Some of you might think, isn't this disrespectful towards the art? Okay, later on, we'll find out. Right? But for now, let's talk first about the context of text development. Hey, we have to talk on how text is being developed based on this term called context. Right? So let's begin. Being a critical reader, it means that you involve understanding that the texts are always developed with a certain context. Okay? You have to understand that everything that you are reading might be a book or an article. Okay? It is always developed with a certain context. Even posts, memes from social media, they have their context. Sometimes we leave comments. What's the context behind this? Okay, how did this meme was developed? What's the context behind? We always look for the context for us to totally understand things. Okay, and that's you being a critical reader. Okay, next, a text is neither written nor read in vacuum. Okay, when you use vacuum cleaner, what's the process? No filter. It will get every speck of dust, okay, that it will see. Okay, and that's not how we read. Okay, we're not like vacuum that we will accept everything that we see and everything that we read. That's not you being a critical reader. Again, you have to check first the context behind it. Okay, is it acceptable? It is not acceptable. Is this based on facts or just a mere opinion? Okay, or judgment, okay, of someone. Okay? Its meaning and interpretation are affected by a given set of circumstances. And these circumstances are the context itself. Okay? So let's define context alone. Context is defined as the social, cultural, political, historical, and other related, okay, fields and disciplines. Okay? Circumstances that surround the text and from the terms from which it can be better understood and evaluated. Right? So that's what we mean when we say that it is a context. Right? And also I would like to add up that context differs from place, time, okay, on and how we understand, okay, certain things because we have, okay, our own interpretation. Always remember this from text as connected discourse. Author and the text, okay, has direct relationship. Okay, the text and you as a reader has direct relationship. But the meaning that the author's trying, okay, to express to you as the reader, okay, there could be a barrier between the two. Right? You have to always remember that. Okay? Now let's talk about intertext and hypertext. But let's focus first on what intertext is. Intertext is simply when you are modeling a text, meaning, okay, with the use of another text. It is defined as the connections between language, image, characters, themes, subject depending on the similarities of the language to use, the genre, the discourse. Okay? And the view recognizes that the text is always influenced by previous text, a text within a text. Okay, later on, we'll find out, okay, how does an existing text influence another existing text. We have so many examples. Right? So these are the three main types of intertext. We have appropriation, we have allusion, and we have parody. Okay, first let's talk about appropriation. Okay, when you borrow from another text, it adopts the old text and it becomes new. Okay, so we have here an example from the original book, The Brothers Grimm fairy tale. It was adapted to Disney Cinderella film, and it was adapted through time. It became a new fairy tale like story. Okay, another example of appropriation is um the story of The Little Mermaid, written by Hans Andersen, adapted by Disney again, okay, to pit a new set of audience or readers. Okay? If you will read Hans Andersen, The Little Mermaid, it's kind of dark. Okay, it's not really pit for kids, okay, or young readers. But of course, when it was adopted by Disney, okay, it has a different atmosphere already. It has a different touch, okay, of magical things, okay, that young readers, young viewers can relate, right? Next, we have here allusion. When we say allusion, it is the reference of another text, a person, place, or event. The audience and the reader has to make the connection between the two. And we have one famous person who's really, really good, okay, in making allusion. Okay, so we have Taylor Swift. Okay, she's the best example for allusion. Look at this. The song Love Story by, of course, none other than Taylor Swift was influenced highly by the famous novel Romeo and Juliet, written by William Shakespeare. Just look at the lyrics, okay, of the song of love story, okay, and the use, okay, of the names of Romeo and Juliet, okay, for us to deliver what love story is all about. They said that Romeo and Juliet, okay, is the famous love story out of all time. Okay, so Taylor Swift pick up, okay, the idea from that, the referencing, okay, of that novel, and make it into another literary piece, and that is a song. Right? So that's how allusion works. Now, lastly, the photos I showed you earlier, those are parody. Okay, those are not disrespectful, okay, to the artist who created art. Okay, because parody has this just purpose of to poke fun at something to entertain the audience or the reader. These are funny imitation of a serious piece of literature, writing, art, or even music. That's why we have music videos that we try to parody, like a low budget one, for example. We're seeing this a lot from the social media and even on here on YouTube. Okay, so that's how it works. Okay, the parody. Right, so here we have Mona Lisa becomes a Monday Lisa. Okay, so this is how it looks like when it's Monday, really in a rush, because it's on Monday. Right, next. Lastly, we have hypertext. Hypertext is a nonlinear way of showing information. A hypertext presents a new way to read online text that differs from reading the standard linear text. Here in hypertext, we experience this most of the time. Here, the text is taken through links, okay, or commentaries directly connected to the text being read. When you try to read an article from the internet. Okay, it says click here to go there. That's an example of hypertext. Okay, hypertext connects our topics on a screen to another screen of related information, graphics, pictures, videos, and even music. Information here, no, it's not just simply related to the text, but okay, had something to do with the text. And of course, we have sample. Okay, these are the sample photo of how hypertext is being used. And of course, the blue, I'm sorry for that, the blue lines, okay, once you click that one out, it will, okay, lead you, okay, to another screen of information. Here in hypertext, a reader can skim through sections of a text, really jumping from one part to another depending on what aspect of text you are interested with. Okay, thus, in reading with hypertext, you are given more, like, how do you call this? The flexibility and personalization because you get to select, okay, the order in which you read the text and focus on the information that is relevant to your background, to your needs, and to your interests. Okay, meaning you don't have to read all throughout the page. Okay, you can choose from time to time because of the hypertext. Okay, and now you can drop down your questions on the comment section. Right? Thank you so much for listening and dropping by on this new video. Hey, you can email me at pbilamide@ucc.ph and on my personal business email, bilamidepuling25@gmail.com. And please do subscribe to my YouTube channel, Empowered by POW. Again, this is Miss Polincia and El Belamide. Thank you so much for dropping by. I hope you learned something today.